Hey everybody, how are you? It's 1 in the morning. It's late, I'm tired, but I wanted to make a quick little video reflecting on the great, awesome Eric Clapton concert I just saw in the city of Atlanta. This is 9/23/2021. Hope you'll watch. Well, I'm really tired, so if I ramble or something more than usual, please forgive me, and I'm not going to go on that long, but I saw Eric Clapton tonight. It's something I'd really been looking forward to. I've seen him, I was trying to count. I think this is probably the fifth or sixth time. I think I saw him 2 nights in a row in the early 80s at Pine Knob. I saw him in 1978 with that Tulsa band and Marcy Levy, and Player warmed up for him. I saw him at Joe Louis Arena around 86 with Phil Collins on drums, and I think Greg Fillinganes on bass. Robert Cray opened for that show. And then I think I saw him again at Pine Knob in the early 90s. It's amazing how you forget some of these things, but I saw him again tonight. I hadn't seen him in a long time, but I've listened to his music all, for so many years, and it was just great to see him. I thought he played great. And he was at the Gas Station South. I don't know, these stadiums now have such funny names. By the way, it's better than the Smoothie Stadium over there in Louisiana. What kind of a rock and roll stadium is named after the smoothie? But anyway, this concert was pretty good. It was a great concert. The venue was good. It's pretty tame. I hadn't been to a concert in a while, and I got in there. And in fact, when I was reading about the guidelines and the rules, and I just remember the first couple concerts I went to, this would be in like around 75, 76, and it was still kind of like Woodstock. I mean, as soon as you walked in there, it was like anarchy, And it was kind of taming down a little bit, even by like 79, 80. But this was a older crowd. When I walked in, I said, man, Eric Clapton's fans are all so old except for me. I'm the only young man here. Everybody else looks like no. But there were I would say all ages there, really. But there were a lot of people my age and older, actually. But it was just great. The thing I would say is that he plays really well. I guess I've been reading some of the comments from people on some of the message boards and everything, and I was ready to kind of just say, well, I wanted to see him. I was glad I saw him. He's a legend, but he was great. He played excellent guitar all night long. He had a great band. I would say the overall musicianship of this show was the best of any Clapton concert I've ever seen. Every concert was great in its own way. The 78 concert was rock and roll. I mean, that was like rock and roll. There was smoke all over the place. Clapton was drinking on stage and started falling over on some songs and played his ass off. Did a big mega version of Layla. So that was great. And I saw him in 86 or whatever, and he was really flamboyant, he was just out front. He kind of was in that kind of, he was wearing kind of a Miami Vice type suit and playing really hot. And but I would say tonight, if you wanted to hear some good blues and really well done music, I Shot the Sheriff. I mean, he played great. And I thought it was just really professional playing. I think it was maybe the most professional and overall well-executed concert I've ever seen.
Here we go. Somebody's coming on the stage.
he did a great I Shot the Sheriff. You know, you can tell I Shot the Sheriff, he's played that so much, and I think it's really kind of gelled into his song, and he just rocked the house on it. I mean, and he kind of brings it down, you know. He did, of course, you know, Got to Get Better in a Little While. He did the set list. One criticism everybody seems to have is they wish he'd do more songs and or more diverse songs. So it's pretty much the same set list every night. But man, he was doing some, I mean, it was really, really good blues. If you like blues, he did that Little Queen of Spades, the Robert Johnson song. He did Key to the Highway, and his guitar playing on Key to the Highway was excellent. Excellent. You know, I took some video, but unfortunately I was too far back, so I'm not going to try to give you a big, you know, here's him playing a song, but I'll kind of intersperse it. But he did Cocaine, Brought the House Down, but his playing is excellent. He did an acoustic set that was so beautiful, and I think he was using mics. He said something before he started the acoustic set that this was as loud as it was going to get because he was using mics or something like that. I couldn't hear it, but the acoustic guitar was so good. And you know, he is one thing about Eric Clapton, he is a great fingerstyle player. And you know, he doesn't use a thumb pick or any finger picks. He doesn't really do Travis picking. He has a really old school blues fingerstyle, and it's just his fingers on that guitar. And he was doing like drifting blues. I mean, really, really some nice fingerstyle blues. I mean, excellent. Just take a lesson from him. He was great. And of course, closed the main part of the show with Cocaine, which has become the obligatory, that dirty cocaine, but it's still a kick-ass J.J. Cale song, and he played it great. And did High Time He Went. It was a great show. Like I said, we're not giving him any sympathy points because he's 76 or whatever. I mean, he played very well. He was kind of in the pocket all night. You know, when I saw him in '86, he was getting out front and kind of, he doesn't jump around anyway, but he was closer to that in '86, and, you know, just playing a lot of really hot, almost kind of flashy stuff. But he just was, you know, burning up the neck of the guitar, playing really well and very tasteful. Like on Key to the Highway, he was playing some of those really good kind of, you know, textbook blues licks. Just, you know, don't look to anybody else to see how to do it. You know, he was doing it just right. Just look at him, and he was playing great. So I thought it was a really good concert. I guess everybody wishes he could have heard more. They could have heard some different songs, because I think it's pretty much the same set list every night. He's got a nice acoustic song called Man of the World I really like, and I'd never heard before. I knew all the other songs. He did Beautiful Tears in Heaven, of course, Layla. Nobody Knows You When You're Down and Out. That was really nice. You know, the Derek and the Dominoes version is such a kind of raw, emotional blues, and this one was kind of, it's got that kind of a little bit of a ragtime feel or whatever, almost like a Dixieland type song, the way he's been playing it a lot lately, which I think is pretty authentic. And of course, Got to Get Better in a Little While, Pretending. The other thing I thought was cool, and I think this is, but for quite a while, I don't think he used the wah-wah pedal that much. And, of course, he was so associated with the wah-wah pedal in Cream and Blind Faith. But he was really he really uses that wah-wah pedal extremely well. His guitar sounded so good. He played it great, and it sounded so good. I mean, all night, whenever he would jump in, the levels were great. His tone was always perfect. And but he was using that wah-wah pedal, and it really added a lot. And the old wah-wah, like when I hear like Hendrix or Cream for that matter do wah-wah stuff now, it sounds kind of juvenile delinquent, it's cool, I love it, but this was like really the wah-wah pedal used in a really tasteful way, just great, just a great show. I wanted to share those thoughts. I'm really glad I went. I'm thinking now about going to see the Stones, I was going to see them last year and then see if they postponed stuff. Oh, we've got to postpone everything. Then Charlie Watts died, but I'd still like to go see the Stones. I'm not sure I will. But I'm very glad I went to see this concert, and it just reinforced, I think, what we all know, which is the amazing legacy of this guy. He's really seasoned into like an old blues man. He doesn't seem that old. It's not like, but some artists would, they seem like they're kind of getting over the hill when they're 32. If they do certain kinds of things, but like some of those old blues guys, those old black blues guys, they'd be up there 85 or 90, and that was the prime of their musicianship in some cases, and he's really seasoned. I think his age has really made him a better player. He's kind of he's settled down. He just plays tasteful. He knows these songs like the back of his hand, and his voice is held up because he never really he was never ever did anything really crazy with his voice, so he sounded fine singing. Sounded like Eric Clapton singing, which is good, and had, but he was really aged into, a distinguished senior honored member of the rock and blues world, and there's a certain power to hearing someone 70 sing that blues stuff that a 25-year-old kid, it's just hard to come up with, You can play, like a 25-year-old can play those songs, but somebody who's lived so much life, they bring so much to the table, and he's got it. He's got it. And, we've had a couple interesting summer with Eric Clapton. He shut people up. He's out there playing his ass off. And if you have anything to say about it, go see him play, because the man's an awesome guitar player and an awesome musician, and he got out there and played. That's what musicians do, and he kept the music going for us, and we need it so bad. So hats off to a great show. Thanks. God bless you.